Hey everybody, it's Dave and Olive. Thanks for joining us here at Book Blather, where we talk about the books we've read recently to help spread the joy of reading. Today, we're returning to the world of sour candy. Hey everybody, today we're doing something a little bit different. Recently we've been working through some vintage science fiction and fantasy and a buddy read that we did, and so we're going to be doing some reviews on those things shortly. But we kind of wanted to take a break and do something a little bit different today to discuss something else that we read recently. And this is a little bit different. It's a crossover between a book and a graphic novel. So when we have a store in town, everybody else in my family aside from me actually likes Sour Patch Kids, right? And so we have a store in town that sells like the little movie-sized boxes of candy, and they always have the Sour Patch Kids there. So whenever I go to that store, I always bring some home for everybody else in the house. But two of them, they like the original Sour Patch Kids. But the other two like the watermelon style of Sour Patch Kids. So I always end up bringing two different varieties. Same thing with the literature we're discussing today. There are now two different varieties of the other sour candy. So last year, we had talked about this book, little horror novella by Kealan Patrick Burke called Sour Candy. This story tells is typically characteristic of Kealan Patrick Burke. Packed in this little horror novella is two different kind of horrors. It's a traditional scary horror, but it's also a horror story about the horrors that an individual personally goes through. And so the beginning of this book, before you even start reading the story, there's a line that starts, 4 months to the day he first encountered the boy at Walmart, the last of Phil Pendleton's teeth fell out. So what this story is about is this guy, Phil Pendleton, a young man living a very carefree life, goes shopping one day at a Walmart, and he's talking on the phone with his girlfriend. And while he's doing that, he turns into an aisle where he encounters a small boy screaming at the top of his lungs. Everybody around is staring at the boy, and his mother is really just standing there with just a spaced out, dull face, not doing anything about it. And Phil, who's normally not the type to get involved in this sort of thing, for some reason this day makes this mistake of just barely engaging this little boy. He makes eye contact with him and asks if he's doing okay. That sets in motion a change of events where this little boy now becomes very attached to Phil. And this begins this short but very rapid, chock full of action, chock full of creepiness story of how Phil Pendleton's life is completely transformed based on his meeting this little boy. It has different aspects to it. It's a great story watching what mentally Phil Pendleton goes through based on how his life changes. There's also, this sort of, I guess you would say, a little supernatural element to it, and some really creepy scenes like this that are like almost like watching a horror movie, the way Burke sets up some of these scenes. So that's pretty much all I said about it before, and all I can say about it now, because it is such a short little novella that you should read it yourself. But we really, really like this. Just a few weeks ago, this came out. So what this is a graphic novel. Overall, it's called Night Terrors. This is a graphic novel series. John Carpenter's Night Terrors is the full name. It's a series put out by Storm King Comics, and there's they tackle different tales in each of these graphic novels. And in this one, as you can see, they tackled the story of sour candy. So this is written by Burke, and illustrated by, what was his first name? Jason Felix, I think. Yeah, Jason Felix. And it's just a single volume graphic novel that tells the story, obviously in much shorter format. There's a lot missing to it, but we liked Sour Candy so much, couldn't pass getting this. As soon as this came out, we bought it. And so this was this was a very cool companion to the horror novella. So, but basically, it's illustrated in this sort of. I'll try to do it so you can see. It's illustrated in this sort of. I don't know what the term for this style of artistry is, but it's the sort of real life painting style of comic art that, I mean, you see sometimes, not too much. I normally don't love this style of art actually in comics. I prefer more of the cartoony graphics. But in this one, it actually really works, this style of art, because there's some a fair number of scary, tense moments, and it really, as you can see, like, look at that, it really kind of brings those things home when you're reading through those particular little scenes in the story. So I thought it really worked here. I'm really glad that they did it this way, actually, that even though I'm not normally a fan of this type of art. And this was really cool. Obviously, it's even though that's short, this is shorter, so it's obviously a truncated version of the story. But they did a really good job with it, and because of the nature of this story and a lot of what a lot of it you're seeing, you get to see facial expressions of what Phil is going through, and you get to actually see some of these, which you were just imagining were sort of very horrific or creepy scenes in the novella. You get to see the actual imagery of it here, so it was really neat to be able to go through the story this way. This the one thing I will say is that I would definitely recommend reading this along with Sour Candy. I'm not sure if you would want to read this by itself. I don't have the benefit of reading this by itself without having read Sour Candy first, but I think some of it may not be totally clear what's happening if you don't already know the story. And I said that particularly towards the end. There's if you know the story, all the panels, they match up perfectly, and it's great. But if you don't know the story, I'm not sure you would fully grasp what's happening from some of these panels, right? Because it's not all dialogue. Some of it's just what's happening. It's just illustrating what's going on. So it might be hard to glean that all just from the images in this graphic novel itself. So I would recommend. I mean, they're both short, so if you're interested in this story, there's no excuse not to read both of them. You will read each of them in a single sitting, and I am a very slow reader, and so you'll blow through each of them really quickly. So I would get them both and read them both. This is a nice pair. I'm glad they did this. I'm really hoping that Kealan Patrick Burke pursues putting some of his other, like Blanky in particular, one of my favorite little horror novellas, but not just that one. But if I really would hope that Kealan Patrick Burke explores actually putting some of his other ones in graphic novel form. That would be really neat, because I enjoyed this, as I said, as a companion to this one. So that's it. John Carpenter's Night Terrors, Sour Candy by Kealan Patrick Burke and Jason Felix. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. We forgot to actually have the sour candy, didn't we? Do you want to have some of the sour candy? I know, you actually kind of liked it last time. Let's see. We were going to put it in our bowl, right? And then we forgot to do that. All right. Hold on. We'll each have one. Let's try it. Do you want to try it? Yeah? I don't know if you... Oh, that's sour. Want to try it? You like all that sugar, huh? It's a little too much? You don't eat the whole thing? You can try it if you want. You can try one. It's not that good for you, but... Well, we'll give you a report next time on whether Olive actually ate the sour candy. So, we recommend both of these. We recommend the novella version and the graphic novel version of Sour Candy by Kealan Patrick Burke. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you get notified the next time Olive says it's okay to upload another video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.